1.19 just recently released to the public, and I wanted my first impressions to be in the most risky version of Minecraft, hardcore. So sit back and enjoy my journey to the best start in Minecraft. This is me making the world. Not much to say here. Alright, here we go. Day 1. I unfortunately spawned in a mesa, which is one of the only biomes to not have trees. My first move was to go for the ocean, because it has a ton of treasure useful in the early game. In the shipwreck, I found one chest that would not open, until I was about 15 blocks away, however. After that, I had to go on a little hike. I was trying to find anything useful, whether that be trees or a structure. You know, I would really like to find a village at one point. And here we are, stumbled upon a desert temple. The only problem was because I had no pickaxe, I couldn't get in. Luckily on the other side there were a few trees that I quickly went to punch down. When I got back to the desert temple, my first priority was making a crafting table and a wooden pickaxe so that I could get down to the treasure room. First chest was a great start if I ever were to get a horse. It had a saddle and some horse armor. The second chest had some more horse armor and an enchanted book with power 4. The third held my first iron ingot, more horse armor, and an emerald. Now I really want to find a village. The final chest had a golden apple, which is a huge help in staying alive. It also had a better horse armor. When I got back to the surface, I made an axe and had an encounter with the pesky spider, in which helped me make my first bow. I left the desert temple and hoped to find some better lands elsewhere. This desert is no home for me. I reached the ocean and made a boat. I knew that if I were to find greener pastures, they surely wouldn't be here. I rode throughout the night, and then stumbled on a very foggy jungle, and I'm not gonna lie, this looks very scary. I reached the surface and went to mine stone for stone tools, because I needed iron for further upgrades. In the specific shader pack I'm using, ores like iron have a small glow to them, which is a big help when mining at night. When I returned to my hole, I decided to clear it out a bit more so that I could live in it temporarily. I used my cobblestone to craft a furnace, and used my old pickaxe as fuel to burn logs into charcoal. I then smelted the iron I mined and some glass so that I could see what time of night it was. After that, I stupidly made a mine that I would never use. Nope, not even once. On the morn of day 2, I dumbly decided to keep digging before coming to my senses and returning to the surface for sunlight. The desert temple provided me with 4 chests I could use to store my items, one of which I used here. During the last night's mining session, I saw some coal but figured it would be a big vein, so I decided to wait until the day to gather it. When I returned home, I made my first iron pickaxe as well as a backup stone one, as well as a shield. It'll help keep me alive. I then needed to cook my beef into steak, so I decided to use a campfire because they don't need fuel. While my beef cooked, I saw this weird structure in the distance. I didn't know what it was, so I had to go check it out. And the chest there gave me my first armor. I still don't know what that structure is, but it sure is handy. I gathered as much coal and iron as I could on the way home. I got like 70. It was pretty sweet. When I got home, I figured if I was going to live here, it should probably have a door. So I went to craft one. But as I was doing that, a skeleton came out of the useless mine and started killing me. If it weren't for that leather tunic, I might have died. And I blocked off the mine and never went down there again. Once I was no longer in danger, I smelted 2 raw iron and combined it with another iron ingot to make my first iron axe. I also crafted a fishing rod because I thought it would be an easy way to get loot at night. Way to get loot, yes. Easy, no. It took me 4 tries to realize that I needed to open the door to fish. And as the sun was rising, I caught an Unbreaking 3 enchanted fishing rod. That's insanely rare. Day 3 I like to call the day of adventure. I knew when I woke up I shouldn't stay here in this cave any longer. I made one of those new chest boats, loaded up my gear, and set sail for a new home. Eventually I found this rocky shore with a garden of trees behind it, and you know I had to chop them down to get a little bit of wood. Upon returning to the boat, I gathered my valuables and started walking to find my new permanent residence. Instead of a house, I found a team of wild horses. Too slow. I could walk faster than this. Here's my speedster. I geared my horse in the finest horse armor, and we set off to find a house together. And when you look at that, a village. I immediately knew I wanted to exploit the Fletcher and his trade of 32 sticks for 1 emerald to make mountains of profit. After exploring, I found a house that had a backyard that my horse could live in. Inside the house was nothing much, just some slabs and a smoker. Perfect for colonizing. I replaced the slabs with my crafting table and furnace so that I could, live there. I knew that I needed food, so I decided to commit theft from the commoners of this town. After heisting these people's food, I unemployed them because they'll all be working for me someday. I then started trapping the locals inside trading pens so I could maximize profits without having to chase them down for it. And hey, look at this! I even got one trapped inside my own home, my own personal buyer. It was a bit of a struggle getting this guy to cooperate with my forceful pushes. Then, in a freak accident, he escaped the unescapable pen, probably because I broke the roof, but still! Luckily, he followed my orders this time, and jumped right back in. First thing I did on day 6 was remake my horse pen so that my earthbound horse could leave without destruction. I rode him to a gravel patch not far from home so I could get flint, which is a crucial item to make fletching tables, which will make me loads of money! Once returning, I pillared up the gravel just to tear it down again. I only need 2 flint, so using 36 gravel should be enough. It was barely enough, I got it on one of the last gravel blocks. The Fletcher's stick trade is insanely overpowered, and is known to be one of the best ways to obtain emeralds fast, so getting it available was a big part of my early start. I knew that tomorrow I would have to chop down a forest to get enough emeralds, so I went out mining for stone to make renewable axes. I then made 5 stone axes, which would aid me immensely in gathering my sticks. The only difficult part is, now, to find a sizable forest to assist my stick gathering. Here's one not too far from home, and enough wood to last me. I'll tell ya, I spent all day chopping and gathered so much wood by the end of it. At night, I traded a day's worth of sticks to my buyer for some sweet cash. Day 7, back at the lumberyard, shopping away. Making money never gets old. At the end, I got to trade even more sticks to him for even more emeralds, and at this point, I was making a serious profit. On day 8, I realized I had too many sticks for one personal buyer, so I transported another one over to my house to be made my own. And I tell you what, he was far easier to deal with than the first one. At this point, he should be assigned to his job block, so I don't really know what's obstructing him. Traded sticks, showered myself in emeralds, and then traded more sticks. Life is good. On day 9, I tried my hardest to breed these villagers, and I do not know why. It was not working. If you know, please comment because I would really appreciate some help. I even went to a different house with 3 different villagers inside it, and they still didn't breed. Look, they even have the love hearts. At that point, I didn't know what to do, so I just went back to stick trading. Somehow, still doesn't get boring. Look how many emeralds I have. I'm rich! On the night of day 9, I figured those 3 other villagers were safer in an inescapable box than in a house, so I trapped them all for future use. Day 10 came in with an explosive start. I was admiring how pretty the sun was when a creeper snuck up beside me and exploded right in my face. I don't know how I took so little damage. Quickly patched up the creeper hole and got back to business. You know that business means back to the forests. I'm making so much money that I might not even have to mine again. I'm gonna take a moment to let y'all admire this sunset. Oh yeah, that's a thumbnail shot. End of day 10, back to usual, trading sticks for ludicrous profits. Look how many emeralds I have now. That's 138. That's insane! I went to sleep on day 10, excited for eventually day 11. But for now, let's have a look at what I accomplished. Obviously now, I'm far richer. I have 138 emeralds to spend on armor and tools. I have a stable income of sticks. I have a large supply of food, being bread and melons. And I have a house. So I would say that that is definitely the best way to start in hardcore Minecraft. Remember to like and subscribe, because this video took a very long time to make. Peace out, y'all.